He's forcing him here to fight. The dog cannot get away. The dog is on leash, cornered, physically cannot run away. He's asking the dog to bite him like, hello? I don't blame dog owners for believing the things that Cesar Millan says or shows on his TV show. It's very easy to rationalize in our human minds that the things he says make sense. However, dogs are not humans. Dogs do not think like humans. Dogs think like dogs. And when you have an understanding of dog behavior, you understand just how ridiculous these things are. So we're going to watch some clips here, and I'm going to break down what's actually going on.
Here's the problem. This dog is bit every friend I have. He's bit my mother. He's bit my assistant. He's just bit her today.
Dog bites do not happen for no reason or out of the blue. There's always warning signs, and dog bites can always be prevented.
And I'll do, no, Richard. So he'll be
louder
like,
so he can hear you better.
No.
Telling your dog no doesn't do any good unless we've actually taught them what no means. If they don't associate that no means a punishment is going to happen, telling your dog no doesn't do any good.
No. And then he'll have a moment like this, and then he goes right back after it.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what no means.
What do you do after that?
I'm gonna show you.
First, Cesar wants to see how...
Oh, what does that say on the screen? Do not attempt the techniques you're about to see without consulting a professional. Any kind of modern dog training that's based off science and based off of evidence that we know of how dogs learn is not dangerous, is not going to put us at a risk, okay? This should tell you, okay, this is probably not a good idea. So anyways, let's see. All right, happy place. Okay, let's see what he does.
Nervous Richard becomes when confronted in his own home.
Okay, right here. He's got the dog cornered. If you know you're working with a fearful dog, the last thing you ever want to do is corner a dog. When you're approaching a fearful dog, your body language is critical. You never want to be lurched and hunched over just like Cesar is, because that is a very threatening position to a dog. So already, the way he's approaching the dog, he's approaching him in a bad area, cornering the dog, and then he's approaching him with bad body language. We're asking for the dog to become aggressive and bite here.
Nervous dog, all fearful dogs, all excited dogs are gonna run away. So let's take that power away, which is unhealthy for everybody, including
Trying to get
Richard.
the
Let's put a leash on.
slip leash on him. He's so afraid. That dog is so terrified of this guy. The number one thing dogs try to do when they're afraid is to run away, which we saw. He was trying to run away. And when dogs can't get away, they're left with no other option but to bite and to attack, to try to make whatever is scaring them go away. It's flight or fight. It's the most basic instinctual response dogs have. Us humans, we have it too. So you saw there, Cesar was trying to corner the dog. He was getting fearful. The dog was trying to get out of that situation. The dog did not want to become aggressive. The dog tried to run away. What did Cesar do? Grab the dog, and then he gets bit. 100% setup could have been avoided. And now we're pinning the dog to the ground for unknown reasons. Put the leash on. Now we're getting bit again because we're putting ourselves in that situation. Look at that dog's body language. This is a dog that is terrified, and all he's doing is just flooding the dog into a fearful state. This is doing nothing. This is not addressing the underlying fear that this dog has of whatever it is, whether it's of men, of strangers. All he's doing is stressing the dog out more and more and more. Whenever you work with a fearful dog, the most basic part of it is to not allow the dog to get to that fearful state. You want to try to keep the dog under the fearful threshold and make positive associations to whatever's happening.
They're gonna throw all the punches.
And he's forcing him here to fight. The dog cannot get away. The dog is on leash. The dog is cornered. The dog physically cannot run away. He is asking the dog to fight. He's asking the dog to bite him. Like, hello? Jesus. And this is not training the dog to feel better or address the underlying emotional state.
That's insane. I can't believe it.
So when you block, the dog goes into... They have to go. It's just you holding in energy. So the energy have to go somewhere. So they go into screaming, biting. But he wasn't like...
Yeah, that energy is fear. The dog is terrified.
Clamping. He was... He sees it. Normally people walks away from me or they put me away. But you're not doing that.
you're not doing that because you got no idea what the hell you're doing.
And Richard, opened his fingers up. He bit right through your friggin'... Oh,
no, but that's just this. Don't worry about it.
If you're training a dog, and you're a dog trainer or a dog behaviorist, any sort of level of dog expert, right? You should never be getting bit. Dog bites are the most predictable thing you can predict with dog behavior. If you have a trainer or someone who works with dogs that's bragging about, oh my god, I get bit all the time. Hello? Do you not know what you're doing? Dog bites are so preventable. There is no excuse for him to be bleeding here. This was completely in his control to avoid it. Again, this is for TV though. This is very entertaining. I'm entertained. I'll give him credit. It's entertaining watching him get bit. However, this is not helping the dog. And this is not something that a owner who's watching this show can do with their own dog or should do with their own dog.
Looked like he got bit by a piranha. I'm mortified.
So he did his whole physical thing and it's like, I'm gonna take over. Most of the time people retrieve or they take him away, but nobody confronts him.
They don't confront him because that's how you get bit. Just like we just watched you, pal.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. By us taking him to that state of releasing it, it's actually very healthy for him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It is not healthy to have a dog under such a stressful level that they are physically biting and drawing blood on humans. So this is a great lesson in what not to do when you're working with a fearful dog. Now again, watching this as somebody who's just watching TV to watch TV, this is very entertaining, right? It makes sense to us when we try to rationalize as a human, okay, we have to go over, we gotta grab the dog and tell them, no, bad dog, bad dog. But that's not how you fix aggression and it's not how you address fear. Imagine you're afraid of something. Let's say you're afraid of spiders, right? So I say, you know what? I'm gonna get this nice box and I'm gonna stick you in the box and then I'm gonna dump in 300 spiders in. And not little spiders. We're gonna use big hairy tarantulas. And I'm gonna seal the box and you're gonna be stuck in there. And you stay in there until you get over your fear. You'd be banging on those walls, going crazy. You would be losing your mind. Yes, a technique called flooding does exist where it's just overexposure to whatever that stimulus is that causes fear in dogs. The problem is that while maybe the dog calms down in that one instance, long term, it creates a much more anxious dog. Not only that, but then the dog can develop other coping mechanisms that can potentially be even more bad or more dangerous. Flooding is the main technique that Cesar uses. And it's basically overexposing the dog, getting them so terrified, so stressed out that their body just completely shuts down. It's great for TV because it makes it appear like, oh my god, the dog is fixed instantly. The reality though is the dog just becomes numb to the environment and what's going on, almost just completely zoned out. If you put the dog back in that situation the next day, their behavior will be just as bad and actually worse than it was before he got there. Remember, whenever you're dealing with dogs, it's very important that we always think about dogs and dog behavior through dog eyes and dog logic, not through human logic. When we do that, the way to help our dogs becomes much more clear.